All right, good evening, folks. Go ahead and get this kicked off now that we've got the audio video stuff out of the way. So as I mentioned on last night's stream, we're going to start doing some alternating streams between Russian Fishing 4 and Fishing Planet. Tonight will be the first Fishing Planet one. And this first one's going to be fairly relaxed. I'm just kind of going to go over a lot of the differences that RF4 players are going to notice, since they're going to be, a lot of them haven't tried this game before. I can try and point out things that are different from what they're used to on RF4. And then we'll do a little bit of fishing, probably for some sturgeon and striped bass here at the San Joaquin Delta. So the first thing is, you might already see out here, the biggest difference, in my opinion, between RF4 and Fishing Planet is that you can actually see the other players around you fishing. You can make your own private rooms. You can have a private room, friends only, all that kind of stuff. Out there at Lone Star Lake, I'll get ready to travel out to Lone Star and join you. It's been a long time since I've been there, so I'll have to relearn stuff. Hey, Sneaky. So if I go to the main menu, this is where we're going to see a lot of difference here. Go ahead and get my cash for the day. So in Fishing Planet here, they've got maps kind of all over the world. I made a pretty good amount of coin on that trip. And you're going to get bombarded with little pop-ups here and there. So here's a big difference between RF4 as well. In Russian Fishing 4, if your gear is low on durability, it will affect the performance of the gear. So you have to, like, at certain levels, you kind of want to go ahead and repair it. With Fishing Planet, there's not really any penalty until the gear is completely broken. So you can let it go longer, especially as you're leveling. By the time a piece of gear is fully broken, you're probably going to be ready to upgrade it to new gear anyways. So you don't have to worry about like repairing every time you leave and something's damaged. If it does start to get a little bit low and you think the trip you're on it might break, go ahead and repair it at that point. But don't be afraid, like in R4, if you have a rod that's like half damage, it's only got half the capacity. In Fishing Planet, that's not the case. It's just it's good until it's broken. So that's a big difference there. We've got our world map here with all our different maps that we can go to, and you can see their level requirements on there. I'm currently level 40. The only map that it shares in common with Russian Fishing 4 is the Aktuba River. All my RF4 viewers know that I have a love-hate relationship with this river on that game. So once I get to level 46, we're definitely going to be doing some side-by-side comparisons between the two games on that map. But where you start off, which is where Canadian is at right now, is at Lone Star Lake down in Texas. So this lake is always going to be free to travel to. So if you're out of funds and you need to do some emergency fishing, you can always come back here. And looks like we do have an ad break going on. So I'm going to kind of go over some things that can be reviewed after the ad break. Right now, I'm going to look at the shop because I need to stock up on a few things here. Let's see, reels. How am I looking on reels? So on here, you'll see there's a level requirement, and you have your bucks, which is basically your in-game currency. So in RF4 terms, that's your silver. And then you've got bait coins, which in R4 terms is your gold. Now, unlike RF4, you can actually, there are ways to earn some bait coin in-game. It's not a lot. You're not going to be able to probably buy an expensive reel or something like that, but you'll see there's these missions. And as you complete missions, some of these will give you some lures and bait. Others, like you can see here, you get rewarded with bait coin. And there's also tournaments. Like right now, there's you can go to Sportman. You can see different tournaments you can sign up for, and a lot of these will have bait coin rewards as well as some gear rewards. So there are ways to actually earn some in-game premium currency, which is great. That's something that RF4 doesn't have in any way, unfortunately. Let's see, and the other thing we're going to do after the ad break is over, we're going to go ahead and create a club. This is kind of like a guild in traditional MMO terms, and this is something new to the game. It was added just a few months ago. And with clubs, you get different benefits, like club members are able to get additional XP rewards. You can take place in club tournaments, stuff like that. So we'll be looking over that kind of stuff. And as far as your gear, I'll go back to the reels here. What you'll see is the SE editions. If you see SE, that means it's something that's purchased with bait coin. Now, at first you may think, okay, does this mean it's pay to win? Not necessarily. Usually something that's available with bait coin the exact same item is available at a later level with silver. So it's kind of like a way, if you want to spend the coin, you can get the items sooner. A great place we can see that is in the, where's this section here? Under rod stands, which is actually the next thing I'm looking at. You can see here you've got a 3-rod holder with alarms, basically identical for all intents and purposes. With Bitcoin, you can get to level 42. With your regular in-game currency, you have to wait till level 45. So the trade-off there is if you want to spend premium currency, you're able to get stuff a little bit sooner. The next thing to go over is going to be licenses and travel. It takes a minute to, it's a little bit confusing at first. Yeah, we'll definitely go out. I'll be taking plenty of questions throughout the stream, Canadian, so feel free to ask away. When you travel, when you're starting off, you're not going to have to worry about it. But once you start traveling, you're going to see, if I want to go to, so you can see here, it's travel cost 0 for Lone Star. If I want to go to another river, you're going to see this travel cost. Now, you can increase the number of days. Don't ever worry about that, because when it's time to do another day, you'll get an in-game prompt anyways to re-up, and you have to look at it as kind of travel cost. The initial day is a lot more expensive. That's kind of like your airfare and stuff like that. Then each additional day is much less. It's like a small percentage of the cost. That's kind of like your hotel while you're staying there. But when you travel, when a new day comes up, you get applied. So if I travel right now for 1 day, when the next day come up, I'd only have to pay. It asks me if you don't want to stay for another day, it's only 200 silver or bucks. So I always just go for 1 day, so that way I don't overpay and end up, if I have to leave early, I don't have to worry about it. But these travel costs, the day is in-game days compared to licenses, which this is a big key difference between this and RF4. You can see here, basic license, this is what you get for free whenever you go to I guess it's not free, but you have to pick one up. You get these restrictions on what you can actually keep. Advanced license lets you keep everything. So in some cases, early on, you may be able to get away with doing a basic license, and since they are cheaper, you can get away with that. But usually, you want to just go with the advanced license and be able to take everything you get. Now, with these licenses, these are actually real days. So if this is one day here, that is 24 hours real time, not in-game time. So if you know you're going to be staying at a particular body of water for like a few days, you can go in and save some money and get an advanced license for a longer period of time. So that's one thing to keep in mind, is that these are the licenses are real time, travel is in-game. Correct. Yeah, that's right. Right, Wicked. It's a travel cost plus daily cost, and your daily cost will be you can re-up each time. And welcome to the stream. I'm guessing you're right now. I'm kind of going over. My viewers are from RF4, so I'm kind of going over some differences to help them along. But welcome. How do you select a different rod? So your rods, I can't really do it, but if you go to your inventory, these are kind of be your hotkeys for your rod numbers, which can, if you don't have anything cost, you can hit I to bring this up. And you can set your rods up on here, and then that's just going to, and then you can hold in, you can either hit those as the hotkey, or you can hold in the Q key and kind of scroll through your different rod setups. And so I'll go ahead and head over to Lone Star Lake, and we're going to start taking a look at the in-game. So here I actually did get an unlimited license at some point. I don't really recommend that, but early on when I was playing this a couple years ago, I purchased it because I thought it'd be good to have an emergency place. But let me go ahead and pick up a advanced license for while we're here, just because luckily it's cheap. And hop on in there. So here, see if there's if you're at a location where you can't do boats, it'll let you know. Some lakes don't have any boat functionality, some do. Oh, very nice. Yeah, so I played this a couple years ago, and I haven't played since. I've been playing RF4 lately, and so I'm going to try to alternate between the two games. Both, I think, have plenty different to offer, which is nice. So here, when you travel, and this is anytime you're in the map, you can kind of fast travel to different locations, and there's a lot of information on this screen that you'll want to take in. So the first, if you go to here, this kind of gives you a little bit of an explanation about the area you're traveling to. So like this one, Home Sweet Home, we go over here to Dam Road. This will give you some information about like what kind of fish are in the area here. So if you're looking to target specific species on the map, This is a good clue about where you might be able to find some of those species. Next up is your weather forecast as well as your day layout. So you can see this is a fish chart. The higher it is, the higher the general bite rate. And you'll get some information aside as well with like some species that are good at this time. And you'll be able to fast forward through time in game. So if you say you want to start off at the heavy fishing period, that starts to wind down, you can fast forward again. But there is a cooldown, so you can't like do that rapidly. It's not like a 5-hour cooldown or anything like that, but it's something to be aware of. I think it's like, I want to say it's like 15 minutes or something like that. It is quicker if you have premium. Next up, you've got the fish species. So this lets you know the different species you can catch in a body of water as well as the max size. So in RF4, you've got your common, then you've got trophy, and you've got the blue tag rare trophy. And those are like super rare in RF4. They're not quite as rare during this time. Okay, so there's a cooldown for your fast forward during the daytime. At nighttime, no cooldown. It's good to know. I wasn't aware of that. Appreciate that. And then you've got, so young is like going to be really small fish species. You got your common here. Trophy is the next size up. And then the biggest size variant you can get in this game is unique size, which in Lone Star Lake, nothing here can get to unique, but you can see there's a few trophy size you can catch. All right, great. So yeah, you'll find that it's still fun to get, it still feels good to get the trophies and uniques on here. They're not as rare as RF4 though, so don't be surprised you start pulling a lot of trophies. Right, so that is the license issue. So if you have a license that doesn't allow you to take that size fish, so like basic license, you can only take, you have to release trophy bluegill, trophy sunfish, or any spotted bass. So you can keep it in your net and risk it, but I never do, because if you get caught, you get a fine for it, and it's just not worth it. But what you want to do is, as soon as you can, pick up an advanced license. That's the one that lets you keep anything you take here. And I'll go over what the keep net is in a minute. Like next up, so that's the license feature here. So definitely to keep that in mind. Anywhere you're fishing, just pick up the advanced license, and you don't have to worry about it. And then lastly is your room. So this is where you can do friends only, private, or random room. I don't know if there's a club room as well. We're going to create a club here shortly, and we'll find out. And to sort of show the benefit here, let's go and add each other as friends. Canadian? Yeah, absolutely. We can like always get the advanced license. Like there's early in the game, if you don't have any currency, you're kind of stuck with the basic license. But as soon as you can, pick up the advanced and just always stick with advanced. So let me add Canadian on here. What's your the old-fashioned Canadian way on here? And those of you that are new from Fishing Planet, Canadian Way actually has a YouTube channel. He puts out a lot of great content for Russian Fishing 4. I'm sure if he likes Fishing Planet, we'll start seeing some of that from him as well. Definitely check out his YouTube channel. I'm going to send you a friend request here, and we can check out a friends room here. And so this is kind of like if you have a random room, you'll be with other random players, and you can watch them fish. If you want to just be, and you also see the size of fish they're catching. If you want to just be by yourself, you can do a private room. But so here you can also, if your friend's already in a room in a lake, you can go and join their room. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here. And then we'll start going over some of the inventory. So first off, so more on the Russian fishing players, some hotkeys to be aware of. 1 through whatever number of rod slots you've got is going to let you select your different rods. 0 puts the rod in hand away. It's not in RF4, that's going to be backspace. Here it's going to be 0. And these are the default key bindings. You can change a lot of these, of course, in the options. Once you unlock rod stands, you can hit 9 to place a rod stand down. And if you want to pick it back up, you just hold in right click, and that puts it away. But if you put a rod stand down, unlike so in Russian Fishing 4, you're kind of like every room or every pole is considered to have its own rod stand by default, and the same hotkey will pick up that rod. In this, the number of your actual, from left to right, the number of the actual nook on your rod stand is going to be what you're going to be. So you use shift plus the corresponding number to pick up or put something into that rod. So if I do shift 2, that's going to put this rod, after I cast it, into that second slot on the rod stand. And if I want to pick it back up, I will just hit shift 2 again to pick that up. Okay, so yeah, I guess you were in a full room, so I'm in my own little empty room here, but that's all right. I'll keep on going over these here for everyone. And same thing, if you want to pick up your rod stand and relocate it, you can hold right click to pick it up and move it around. So this is a static rod stand that's got both of them together. There are some rod stand options you can get where it's like multiple individual rod stands. And sometimes those can be useful if you're like on a dock and you want to have one rod stand facing out towards the middle of the lake and you want to have one that's kind of facing off towards the side to catch some other fish. So that's something to be aware of as well. Next up, for picking your bait or your lure, while your rod's in hand, you can, in addition to using it through the inventory menu, if you hold in the Z button, which is going to be different from RF4, and RF4 it's B and H, you can hold in the Z button and kind of scroll through to find your different baits, and then just in the top right-hand corner, whichever bait you're selecting, you can go ahead and do that. That's how you change your tackle options. Some interface options I want to go over in the options here. In your tackle load indicator, if you're familiar with RF4, horizontal is going to be very much like RF4. It's going to have your attention kind of goes outwards towards the red on the outer edges to let you know how much pressure the fish is putting on. And there's circle indicators to let you know like what's getting the most tension. Is it your leader and line? Is it your reel, or is it your rod? I and most fishing plant players go with the pro setting, which once we get a fish on the line, you'll see the difference there. That gives you an individual indicator for both your line and leader, your rod, and your reel, which gives you a much better idea of how much pressure each thing is taking when you find the fish, to give you an idea of like what do you need to upgrade first. And also if you're like jerking the rod too hard, you'll let you know, hey, you're putting too much pressure on the rod, maybe not holding the right click. Here you can adjust your bobber size. So those of us with old eyes, we can, something I really wish Russian fishing had, you can adjust that to see better. Those are the big things here. The landing net, I think it's something fairly new to the game. Works very similar to RF4. When the line gets close, you can hit in spacebar to bring it in. Another thing that I wish RF4 has, you've got your unit of measurement. You can do imperial or metric. RF4 is only metric. So here, if you're more familiar with imperial measurements, your pounds and inches, you can go ahead and switch that over. And I think that's really the main options to go through there. Yeah, I've heard the landing net, like, it's a little janky, and I've tried it a few times with the sturgeon. It does feel a little weird. So it's a good idea, probably keep it turned off for now. I think it's still being tweaked because it is a relatively new feature. I'll probably keep that turned off for now as well. All right, so let's go ahead and, man, it's been forever. Oh, another thing, so the map one here. You can hit M to bring the map up, and unlike RF4, you actually get more of like a GPS style map. And there's this feature, which these are called marker buoys. You can unlock more of these through challenges and things like that. I think the new maximum is like 14 or 1700 marker buoys. And snag one should be on. Oh, let me check that out. Didn't notice that one. So what markers we are, you can add you can add manual marker buoys, which is actually what I have right here. This lets me know that this is the deepest spot of the map. If I'm going for something down there, you can see them on the map. It gives you a place to cast towards. The other great thing is that if you catch like a trophy or unique fish, you can actually, after catching it, go in here and it'll automatically add a marker buoy to where you caught that fish, and it'll give you details with the time and weather of when you caught it, as well as the tackle you were using. So if you need to go back and revisit a lake down the road, you're like, oh, where did I catch that unique bluegill, or whatever you're going for? You can actually go find your marker buoy, see what you used to catch it, stuff like that. So it's a really helpful way to go back and revisit spots where you've caught some good fish in the past. And let me check that snag warning option there. Yeah, didn't even realize that was a thing. So let me turn that on. Appreciate that. So retro, it's not really, they're called unique in this. So on Lone Star, you won't be able to get unique species. You see here, like the biggest is trophy. But if we go to other maps, there's a level above that called unique. And there are also special fish, either through, like right now, there's a Halloween event going on. So there's special fish species I can show. I've caught a couple. We go to my thing here. We can show a couple of also, like during St. Patrick's Day, you'll find these like leprechaun fish that you can catch. Or like right now for Halloween, you can find like phantom fish that are glowing. Here we go, like this phantom steelhead. So there are special like event type fish, but on top of that, you can find like here I've got some unique flathead catfish, things of that nature. Those are going to be your biggest fish size. And so the next thing to go over that's not an RF4, other than like I guess you have like your task challenges that don't really ultimately, unfortunately, mean anything in RF4. But in this, you have missions. So there's all manner of missions and challenges. You can go through your missions thing to go after. Each lake has like a catch all the different species, get a reward for it. There's exploration where you can find different things. There's mastering different types of fishing, different species of fish, and you'll find different, you'll see you get different rewards for that kind of stuff. And there's also monster fish that each map has like a special monster fish where you have to catch certain bait. If I can find one here. Where are my monster fish ones? Go look on included ones. So here you can see like I had to go get some different pipe to get a special lure, and then I could go after the special monster fish on this map. And you can kind of see that with your trophies. Where are those at? This somewhere. I've been in this profile somewhere. Somewhere there's like some oh here it's in this. Here it goes, special. So you can see the different trophies you've caught. Kind of just a little thing in your inventory. Oh yeah, and that's a good point, Mike. And so when you're doing time trial, so if you're in the map and you don't have any lines out, you can hit T to bring up the fast forward time. You can kind of like go to a time frame you want. At 5 a.m., whether it's through traveling time on this or just naturally passing through 5 a.m., that will be a day end. And so any of you, the fish in your keep net, you'll go ahead and sell at that time. It'll progress to the next day. And if you haven't already purchased additional days, they'll say, hey, do you want to stay for another day? Yes or no. And then you'll pay the little bit of coin it takes to go into the next day. And the last thing I want to go over before we go after some fish is the keep net. So this is a big thing. The RF4 doesn't have anything like this. So in my inventory, you'll see right here, I've got this Fish Fort XL Plus. If you go to the shop, I don't know if Lone Star has different ones or not. There's keep net and stringers. So yeah, you go here, you've got a couple different values here. You've got max single fish weight. So if you catch a fish like with this fish hut, any fish that's over 3 pounds, you can't keep in your keep net. You have to release it if you have this fish equipped. And then the total number of fish is 8 pounds. So yeah, and that's another thing in RF4. You can keep the fish in your net for as many real life days as you want. Like if you go away for a week and come back, your fish isn't going to rot. Unlike RF4, where they do decay with after about 24 hours, they're worth nothing. None of that to worry about on here. The main thing is just your total fish weight. So there's a balancing act of like making sure you don't load up on fish that aren't particularly valuable in your keep net. And once your keep net is full, if you're happy with the fish in there, then at that point it's time to go ahead and just travel to the next morning or the next day that you want to next time period in the next day that you want to go for, because you're not going to be able to keep anything more in your keep net at that point. And that brings me to the paid DLCs. If you can definitely play free to play if you want. I think RF4 is a little more generous on the free to play than Fishing Planet is, but it's still very generous. But if you do decide to buy things, the biggest thing I think you should look at are 2 factors that comes with the DLC. Your rod case, look for something that lets you keep 5 or 7 rods with you. So that way you have a lot more options to take with you. And then the biggest factor is your keep net. Look for a DLC that gives you a really big keep net, because that's going to save you a ton of headache. Special Halloween fish at Lone Star. That is a good question. I really haven't looked into the event too much. Let's see. Okay, so if you come over here to this part of the map in the northeast corner, there's a pumpkin here that you can interact with. That's going to give you some special lures or bait. And those will help you catch the rare fish. Sometimes you'll catch them randomly. Since there is bait here, I'm going to assume that you can catch some of the rare fish here. I see another pumpkin over there on the other side of the lake, so let me move over there. So if you keep an eye on that, a lot of the holiday events do have these little things laying around where they you interact with them and they'll give you special baits and such for the event. We got some pig's eye. And if you use those baits, I guess those are going to give you a better opportunity to, or a better chance at catching some of those rare fish. So that's if you just caught the jump out there. This is another thing that you don't see in RF4. You will see occasionally fish jump or some wakes in the water. These are good indicators of like, hey, maybe this is a good spot to try and fish for some stuff. If I remember right, like casting across here is a really good place to catch some bass. Let's see if I can even catch them on this. All the tackle I have on me is probably going to be too big a hook for out here, but let's so there's two ways you can cast with, I think with telescopic line. There's one more on the left corner of the map. Good to know. So there's 3 places to get that bait on this map. And there's also somewhere like a worm pile where you can get some free worms. Okay, so that's like the one on San Joaquin Delta. Then it's like a little purple tombstone. Good to know. Appreciate that. So when you're casting your line, first off, up and down on the scroll wheel is going to let you determine your reel speed. And by default, plus or minus is going to be how you adjust your drag. If you've got a leader, I believe it's O and P is how you adjust your depth. And when casting, you can either hold left clicks like you would in Fishing Plant or Russian Fishing, or you can right click. And this gives you sort of a targeting fishing thing, which is super useful for trying to go to a specific spot. And you can see the indicator on the right-hand side. If you want to go for that spot, the empty line between the 2 bars is kind of like right on it. And the further you are from the bar, the more variance you have on it. So I've got crankbaits on it. So if you're using spoons or spinners, there are your different, or wigglers, anything like that. You have your different jig options. You can jig step, walk the dog, stop and go, things of that nature. Crankbait, you kind of just reel in with holding in your left click, and you can do some right click to cause a little bit of twitching, sometimes help. You can kind of move your line side to side. And I'm probably not going to be able to catch anything now here on this door. I'm going to just kind of came out here to show some stuff off, and I'll move over to the San Joaquin Delta where all of my gear is currently set up for. Okay, so at the worm pile across the bridge over there, you can get 25 red worms every 24 hours. So that's good to know if you're out here early on. Go ahead and stock up on the free bait. Never hurts. And also you can hold in shift to reel in quick. Go to max speed. But I think that's kind of the basics. If everyone's got any questions, let me know. And Wicked or I can definitely answer that. 3 rods for float fishing. You can, once you get more rod stands. So that's going to be the key. Rod stands is an item you can get an upgrade. Right now, I've got a 2 rod holder. I think the first rod stand is available at level 8 or something like that. Let's see. Stands. No, yeah, so you're not going to be able to pick any up here. And when you're on an individual map, it's a different shop than the world map. The world map has everything available. Individual maps, when you're in a lake, is going to be a more refined shop setup, kind of geared towards that level range. But once you can purchase a rod stand, that's where you're going to be able to have multiple lines out. Yeah, the biggest is a 4 rod holder, plus you can have 1 in your hand. So you can ultimately have 5 rods out that you're active at a time. I like to have like 2 bottom rods out on a rod stand with my current gear, and then I'll use a 3rd line to just kind of spin fish. So you will be able to have multiple rods out soon. Like I said, I think it's like level 8 or level 12 is when you get your first one, but let's go ahead and travel to an area where I can actually catch some useful. Well, actually, before that, let's go ahead and create a club. That was one of our goals here tonight. It's fairly pricey, but I've been grinding up to save it. So let's call it the old, can you put space bar, Fred Club. Awesome. And And let's build us a, let's see, I guess you have to be at least level 5 to, well, I'm going to keep it at minimum level 5. I wish you could do it from level 1. That's a thing to keep botting out or something, I don't know. Let's see, let's build in some nice logo here. We have carp, because we love carp from RF4. There's like a koi carp of some sort there. Ooh, okay, this one's looking promising. And I don't really like the design on that carp. Let's go with this one. It's kind of similar to our angry carp emoji here. I like that. Okay, that's good to know. So there you go. If these holiday events, since you can get good bait and especially the lures that you don't run out of, definitely worth looting those so you can get a bunch of good free lures there. So that's a good tip. Wicked one to. I didn't realize that those lures were. I thought they were like only good for the they're the holiday fish, but if they're good for everything, that's definitely good to know. Let's make it yellow. I love me some yellow options here. Background, some wavy action. You can barely see that back there, so let's just go something cheap for that. Frame, what we got? What do we got? Man, this carp emblem kind of like covers up most of these frames. I guess we'll just keep a smaller one then. Get a nice green background. I like that. Looks all right. Let's create that. Here we go. All right. So we have a contain letters, numbers, and characters. Okay, I guess we need to take the slashes out and punctuation. There we go. That should do the trick. So those are really, really good. See, I really like that. I liked it, and that's one thing that I remember from when I was playing Fishing Planet 4 is like the mission rewards. You could get some really, really good lures and stuff out. It's really nice to be able to get. All right, so there goes a third of my money. But now we've got a club. So anyone that wants to join that, just search for the Cred Club name, and I will keep an eye out for join requests. And we'll work on building that up. And without any further ado, let's get to the San Joaquin Delta and do some fish. So as you play, you'll learn that there are kind of like up to like level 46 or 48, something like that. There's kind of a suggested best XP and silver per hour route. I like to play the game just to catch fish and enjoy myself. But if you're trying to progress as fast as possible, once you unlock Emerald Lake, that's going to be your first stop for the best XP and silver per hour early game. You're going to be catching walleye there. From there, go fish for largemouth bass at the Everglades. Once you unlock St. Croix Lake, you're going after Northern Pike. And then where I'm going now, San Joaquin Delta, you're at level 34, which I would wait a little bit after level 34 so you can get a little bit better gear. But you can catch white sturgeon out here, which are really good XP and silver. So I've got a advanced license still active here. Hydrate, you got it, Canadian. Cheers. And I do have the pickles and tea caching disabled. We'll have to come up with a good meme as we play Fishing Planet here to come up with something for when we have Fishing Planet streams for my big channel in Redemption. So you can see, I could, even though I know I'm going to be here for multiple days, I'm just going to pick one day. There's a 2,000 buck difference between each day after the first. It's the same price if you just extend it in game. So I like to just go with one day. That way, if I decide I want to go travel somewhere else, I haven't paid for days I'm not using. So we'll go ahead and start here at the boat docks. And let's look at the weather forecast. So sturgeon are nighttime fish. So we're going to start during the night, but we'll go ahead and boat on out to the spot first. And you can rent boats and kayaks. I have a kayak and boat owned already, so I don't need to do any rentals. We'll take the kayak out. And I may, for fun, before I do before I put the rod stands out, I may try to catch a sturgeon in the kayak. So you can see one of the things I like to do for fun every now and then. If you're in a kayak that's not anchored and you get a big fish on the line, they'll pull you all around the rudder, flip you over, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and hop in my kayak here. And controls are fairly simple for the kayak, just W to move forward. You can move side to side, holding shift to go faster. You got a little stamina bar to the side, so you have to let that recover a bit. If you run out, you just gotta stop paddling for a moment to let it recover. But over here, this is a very, very popular, you'll see here, probably some level 80 max level people here still use this spot for quick, easy in-game currency. These sturgeon are great for that. There is a trick where you can basically leave the line pretty much on the water bank and pull it straight up so you don't even have to fight the fish. I'm going to fight the fish because I enjoy that aspect of the game, but if you're more progression oriented, that's certainly an option. There's a lot of YouTube videos that help with that. So I think I've already collected this in the last 24 hours. Yep. So this is where I can get one of the Halloween baits. So you can see here, there's a bunch of people fishing this spot for sturgeon. To remove the clutter, I'm going to go ahead and switch it to a private room. I guess we'll make it a club room. And you can get an in-game. I haven't unlocked it yet, but there is a free hat you can get in-game that's got a little flashlight on it. Same as RF4, you hit F to turn the flashlight on, so really useful at nighttime. I'm going to go ahead and put my rod stand out here. And pass the time over to right about here, giving me plenty of time to fish before the day ends. And I'm going to have my two bottom rods just a little bit off of the bank here to catch some sturgeon. And then while I wait for those to hook something, I'm going to spin fish out towards that buoy there for some striped bass and steelhead. And those are generally, most people will say just do the white sturgeon because they're the best weight to XP and money ratio. But I'm not here to maximize that ratio. I'm here to have some fun. So we'll go ahead and pull out my nighttime glow-in-the-dark crankbait and see what we can catch. And you can get rod stands that have built-in bite alarms. I've got these bells on the rods because I don't have a one with a built-in yet. You bought a rod by completing some objectives, but your inventory says, let's see, let me pull this in real quick and let's take a look, see if there might be something hidden there. It's been a while since I've unlocked something through objectives. Wicked, if you can get an item from objectives, it goes to your house or does it go to your backpack? I would think it goes to your backpack. You go through the different options here. Make sure it does default to show everything on here. It may not even equip it to one of your slots, I'm not sure. But yeah, here's where if you have an unequipped rod, you can go there and select that. But it's possible that you do have a house inventory, so you do it in your backpack inventory does have like max limit of things based on your different like here you got a rod stand, let's be accurate. So it may be that you don't have a rod stand that lets you have additional rods, in which case you'd have to go to the world map to go to your home and change that out. So definitely something you want to keep in mind to buy early on with some of your silver also is a rod stand or rod case to carry multiple rods. That maybe what's going on is it's in your home inventory that you can access by going to the world map. Yeah, that's what I think. So if the backpack has an available slot, and I think when you start off, you don't have oh, here we go. We got a fish on. So there you can see, and once I bring this fish, oh, we got one of the phantom steelhead actually. So there you can see the different indicators going up there. The one on the far left is going to be your line. Ooh, getting the sturgeon bite as well. Be juggling already. The different indicators on the left is your line and leader, middle is your rod, right is your reel. That's going to show you the pressure being put on each of those different items. Let me see if I can put this in. Well, we're getting a bunch of sturgeon in, so I'm probably going to lose a couple of these fish to tension, but if I have to choose between that striped bass and the sturgeon, I'm going to go for the sturgeon. I think you just, once you're on the world map, just go to the inventory panel, and that'll give you your home inventory. Let's see if we can juggle these two sturgeon to bring both in. This one's fairly close. And so the other thing, this does have like a little, not so much an RF4. You can like get the fish to change its direction it's fighting by jerking it around and stuff like that. Sturgeon demons. So I haven't got one of the sturgeon demons. If I get one of those on, that's gonna be rough on this line. Luckily, I haven't got one of them yet. Apparently, the steelhead's still on the line, surprisingly. Let's bring this bad boy in. Yeah, it's hectic if you're juggling multiple rods, but we like the challenge here. All right, he's almost in. Man, I almost wish I had the keep net enabled for this. All right, so we lost one of the sturgeon. It's all right. Really good bite rate tonight. Usually I have a few minutes between the bites. And I'll go over like different factors. So in RF4, like there's a few factors on how much XP you get. Basically, like, are you on ultralight tackle, stuff like that. Here we go. We got a nice 47-pound sturgeon. So you can hit M to show your different XP modifiers. By using barbless hook tackle, you get an XP bonus from that. Those are generally, you can only buy them with bait coin, or you can unlock them through missions. So it's good to use those most of the time, get that bonus XP. Tackles modifier. This is basically, are you using tackle that still makes it hard to fight the fish? The more overpowered your tackle is, the less XP bonus you're going to get out of it. So similar to RF4, they have like the ultralight bonus. This gives you an incentive to try and keep your tackle more closely tuned to what you're fishing for, instead of like going out with something just completely overpowered. This clubmate, this is if you're in a club room with other clubmates, I guess is a new bonus you can get. So those are some different XP modifiers to be aware of. You can also examine the fish like this, and also go into, what is the key to go into where you can hold the fish? Wicked? I don't remember what the key for that is. Oh, P. Here we go. This is something the RF4 does not have. You can actually see yourself holding the fish, and you can move the camera around, do stuff like that. So if you want to take a cool screenshot of it, neat little feature that RF4 is definitely missing there. But that will go ahead and keep that bad boy and retesting. So, oh, looks like our steelhead friend is still on the line. All right. What a polite fellow. Oh boy, are we going to lose the tension here? Come on, reel in quick enough. There we go, we got him. Let's get back to this fight. I guess he banked himself on the shore and wanted to watch us bring the sturgeon in. What a nice guy. So you can see here, my gear is actually kind of underpowered for this stuff, but I enjoyed the fight. And just like with R4, you can move around, chase the fish around the map, and that'll affect your tension and stuff like that. And there are some reels, I think like the baitcaster reels and stuff, I think you can actually change the gear ratios while you're fighting them. Is that correct, Wicked? I haven't really messed with the baitcasters yet. Bring the sucker in. And when you're bringing in some small fish, sometimes you'll see them fly up out of the water and fling past your face, which is pretty fun. I don't think we're going to get that with anything out here, but still entertaining to see. Okay, so it is only the speed and drag. Okay, so thanks for clarifying that. You can see the gear ratios, though, which if you know how the mechanics of reel stuff, it gives you kind of an idea of how the strength of the reel works. And then a big factor on reels is the retrieval length, which is basically like how much line are you pulling in with each full rotation of the reel. So fish that like to pull a lot of line out between giving you opportunities to reel them in, you really want to have a high retrieval speed, or length, I should say. The steelhead's giving us a run for our money. See if we can force him back in this direction. You can see from my indicators here, I definitely underpowered because I'm almost at max drag, and this fish is fighting me tooth and nail, or just say tooth and fin. Okay, so the gear ratios don't actually. Okay, that makes sense. So I guess the gear ratios in this are more for more just for looks than anything else in the menu. Good to know. Mudwater River. So Mudwater River, if I remember correct, has like a lot of small catfish. I think you can get some small pike and perch there. And there's a lot of different challenges and missions you can take on there. Usually, I try to wait at least like 2 levels over unlocking a map in the early stages, just to make sure you can get some gear that's not going to be like super underpowered there. But I remember this, it's got a much wider range of species you can go for. What I would focus on, if you go to the missions, try to complete as many of the missions as you can at Lone Star. That's going to help you get some good starting gear. Hey, we got a nice trophy steelhead phantom right there. Look at this fish here. So yeah, this is one of the Halloween species. So if you have an event going on for different festivals and holidays, the fish you catch on those are going to be in purple. Same with like if you're in a room with other people, they'll show up in the chat in purple down there. And keep that in the keep net. Okay, yeah, so as Wicked mentioned there, they do get pretty large at Mudwater. So yeah, wait until you get some larger tackle. I'd focus on knocking out some of the missions there at Lone Star. Those are going to help you unlock some free items and get you some more experience. Emerald Lake's going to be a good one. When you unlock Falcon, that's going to be a good one to go after some trout on. I don't remember what levels all those unlock, unfortunately. Yeah. And get some more sturgeon here. Rocky Lake. Okay, yeah, Rocky Lake I think is one. No, yeah, Falcon is a later one. Rocky is the one with the trout. That's right. I guess they both have trout, but Rocky is the one that's like just like a little circle. We're getting bite already. All right. Another sturgeon coming in. Falcon's level 14. Okay. I remember around level 20 or so is when you unlock white moose, or maybe it's 30. I spent a lot of time there because I had a lot of fun getting the Atlantic salmon and lake trout there. Run. Go. Okay, Emerald's now level 8. Gotcha. Yeah, I know the walleye at Emerald is a really good XP and silver progression map. So this one feels smaller, so if I want to risk losing one, it's probably that one. Hopefully, I need to, my hope is in the near future I'll be able to unlock some stronger gear so these sturgeon aren't kicking my butt so much. Which again, I know there is the trick to sort of just drop the hook on the embankment and you can just pick the fish right up. But especially for streaming content. That's just not so fun. But if you are looking for just like easy XP and silver, definitely look into those videos. It'll save you a lot of wear and tear on your gear and help you progress through the levels a lot quicker. Oh, they give a lure setup bonus. That's good to know. There you go. Yeah, walleye when you get Emerald Lake unlocked is going to be a really good option. And Canadian, if you get a chance, go ahead and shoot me an invite or invitation request once you hit level 5, and I'll get you added to the club. And try to get some of those club bonuses built up. And another thing on this that's different from RF4 is that there's a ton of automated in-game competitions. Oh, lost one of them. That's too bad. And in addition to that, similar to RF4, players can run their own competitions, but the settings and everything for it are much better than RF4. So we do like special streams for competitions like we do for RF4 occasionally. We can do some in here with a lot more control over them. One thing with the pike I find, or not pike, the sturgeon, if I do sort of a jerk in one direction, it'll kind of force him to head towards the shore a bit, give me a few feet at a time. They are quite the fighters. No problem, Wicked. How's your fishing experience over there on Lone Star so far, Canadian? Have you gotten to where you can start using some lures or anything yet? I remember having a lot of fun early on catching some of the smallmouth bass out there. That's definitely like one of the things while you're progressing. Those missions are really going to help you get good gear, especially like barbless hooks and barbless lures that are going to allow you to get that bonus XP for fishing. So definitely try and knock as many missions out as you can as you go to each lake. Gotcha. Yeah, you'll learn as you get spots, getting those marker buoys to find and go back to spots, and then making use of the that fish bite indicator in the time and weather forecast is very, very useful. So you can try and focus your fishing time when it's in those brighter humps at the top. Those apply to pretty much every fish species. And also, once you get to where you can have boats, unlike an RF4, although the ocean one is kind of useful, the fish finders on the boats in this game are actually mechanically sound. Like they will tell you where there's fish at and stuff like that. It's not just like there for cosmetics. Well, this sturgeon's doesn't want to come in, does he? Yeah, I'll have to work on off stream. I'll work on putting together a gear setup that's good for those lower level maps. That way I can join you guys on your progress on streams and whatnot. And another thing that's going to be useful on this that I wish RF4 had is you can save gear templates. So if you want to like have a specific save templates, that's going to be like all of your tackle, your rod, your reel, your line, all that stuff. You can save templates so that when you travel to different maps, you can quickly change your stuff out to a template for that map. Hey, Javen, how's it going? Watch me bring this big sturgeon in here just in time. Here we go. Nice 52-pound sturgeon. Our smiley self and my fancy gray vest there. All right, so we've already got, 131 pounds of sturgeon in our keeping it. We're doing good. Eating up some pizza. Hope it's some tasty pizza. Well, that may be why, Javen, but you know, we'll keep it family friendly. We won't go into it too much. All right, let's get some lines back. Cast that way too far. Whoops. Recast that. Yeah. And let's bring this in so I can put the other line out. We'll get back to some spin fishing. That's line 3. Line 4 is this one. So the other thing I'm looking forward to, I haven't really bothered with carp fishing on Fishing Planet before. It's got the where you can make your own mixes of boilies and stuff like that, so I never got around to get into it. Apparently I have a snag on this line. There we go. Much better than getting a snag on RF4. Any of my RF4 viewers know I absolutely detest how they handle snags on that game. Anytime I get a snag on there, I just Alt F4. All right. See if we can get some striped bass out here. So for XP and silver per hour, again, most people prefer to just only focus on the sturgeon. They do have the best ratio of XP and silver per pound, but I enjoy catching these striped bass, and they're really not terrible. They're not as good a ratio as the sturgeon, but they're still valuable in my mind. They're one of those lines getting nibbles on. I think it was just a nibble though. And so again, this is a crankbait, so I don't really have to do any fancy movement to get it to be effective. But you could do if you're using like a spoon or something like that. There's all those different jig steps and things. You can see I got a little bit of a hit there, but didn't quite take. You saw the tension bars kind of light up just briefly. It's a good indicator that something bumped your line. Yeah. This and all right, we got a little tiny striped bass. So again, it's not as much as you get with a sturgeon, but I'll keep them. And then if I start getting to where my fish net's getting fairly full and I see some bites on the one of the bottom rods, then I'll start releasing some of them so I can make room for the sturgeon. Yeah, I would like snags in this game. Nice and easy to get out of, which I like. RF4, like snags on there are miserable, absolutely. Especially like something that I do on there that most people don't is telescopic trolling. And if you catch a snag while trolling with a telescopic line out, it's just an instant line break. So luckily here on Fishing Planet, if you get a snag, it's just a minor nuisance. And in some cases, you actually want to get snags because you'll find that some of the fish you get or special lures and stuff you unlock out here to get the monster fish, you have to catch things like weeds and branches and stuff like that. I know, Kenny, I'm going to have to pick up some telly rods to do some fishing out there on Lone Star. It's weird to see some non-telly rods on my stream, isn't it? It's like blasphemy. See, a little bit slow right now. Every now and then, just slow spot to spot. And a lot of people will, I guess, like for really power leveling their way through this area, they'll catch a handful of sturgeon and then like progress to the next day just keep going at the peak times. So again, if you get to this point where you're at the San Joaquin Delta and you're wanting to progress fast, by all means, go for it. I like to just take it easy and enjoy myself. But each their own. Missed it. So I had another bump there, but not quite a full hit. Actually, I think I'm going to recast these because it looks like they've bunched up a little bit onto the embankment. You might still be able to catch some sturgeon, but I'd rather not get around and risk it. They just kind of released themselves there. That's weird. All right, so let's get this cast back out. Yeah, so I know spreadsheets is like if you like spreadsheets, getting on here lets you keep track of all the different spots and stuff like that. I try to avoid using spreadsheets for this kind of thing though. It's because again I like to just relax and play it by ear. But those that do want to like really keep up with where they're getting all their fish, in addition to marker buoys, spreadsheets are the way to go. Not quite to the level of something like EVE Online, thankfully. I'm going to check once I reel this in. Let me make sure I didn't fall out. I think this day is supposed to be fairly high bite rate until the day ends, but I'll double check and make sure. Yeah. Let's see. What are we looking at on the forecast here? Okay, so we should be okay. Maybe it's a little bit late in the evening. Yeah, that's true. Especially you're gonna be able to keep track of all the details. And it looks like we got a ad break coming up here in about 10 seconds just to prevent pre-roll ads. We'll keep on fishing through that. Subscribers, you won't have to deal with that. So appreciate the support as always. Got another Phantom Steelhead here, I think. It's actually the first time I've got one of those on my bottom lines. They respawn every 90 in-game minutes. Okay, so if I guess after you've caught a few and you're getting none, you want to try to move the time forward at least an hour and a half. That's good to know. Steelhead's giving us a fight for bringing him in, that's for sure. Not as much as a sturgeon, though. I might actually be able to see. I really need to get a better line and leader on this setup because can't go to a higher drag level without maxing that out. Oh, and fish, work with me here. So after bringing this fish in, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward the time to the next evening and show off what it's like to get a big fish on the line while you're in a kayak. That's a fun little feature. Well, he's bringing me way out there, isn't he? Dang. It looked like a steelhead. I don't think this is one of those demon sturgeon. Imagine if it was a demon sturgeon, my lines would be a lot more close to red. So, with your knowledge, Wicked, how is the? Are there like high level spots that are like good for telescopic fishing? Because that's one thing. It's on RF4. I love telescopic fishing, even though it's not like the most efficient way to play. I like to have fun with it, but I've never looked into this to see if there's any like 20, 30 pound capacity color rods that can be purchased. I know a lot of my RF4 viewers, they come to see me do stupid stuff with telescopic. I cannot bring this guy in. Hopefully this will be a nice, valuable fish. But see, and this is another factor, like, even though in a lot of ways it's a little more arcadey, I like the fish fights on this a lot more than RF4. To me, the RF4 fights feel very like, sometimes if you like carp fishing, you can walk around the lake and chase the fish, but there's not as much like trying to move the head and redirect the fish or anything like that on there. Okay, so there's no benefit to it. Even though so that's my thing is like an RF4, there's really no benefit to telescopic either. I just find it fun to do it sometimes, but I didn't know if they were like in RF4, you can get some telescopic rods that have a high enough capacity to go for like carp and stuff like that. So I didn't know if this game had those high capacity telescopic rods or if it's just like small capacity for panfish. All right, we've gotten this guy in quite a bit. We should be able to pull him in here soon now. Oh, come on. Almost got him. Surely this guy's a trophy fish at least. So close. Walk up on him here. There we go. There we go. Now we got him. Yep, that's a trophy. Oh yeah, nice spooky ghost fish there. Very nice. Another. Ooh, almost got to level 41 here. Nice. I don't know if there's any good gear that you unlock at that level. Yeah, absolutely. I know it's for carp, same with RF4, like getting big bottom rods and spot and PVA, stuff like that. So looking forward to getting into that on here. Something I never really bothered with when I played this back in the past. So it's definitely one on my list of things to learn. Okay. Actually, wait. Let's go ahead and fast forward to the next day, and I want to showcase fishing from a kayak. Go ahead and fast forward to night 2. We'll start right here at the crest. Here you'll see, now that the new day has come, I can extend my day for the 2,000 silver, so I'll go ahead and do that. Cashes in everything in your keep net. So that's where you want to try, if you can, fill out your keep net with as valuable fish as you can get before you go to the next day, so you can really maximize it. But here we had plenty of room in ours, but I just want to showcase what this looks like. And a weird lighting situation here. Pop in this around. Yeah. So with spod rockets, you don't need PVA. And the other thing that's nice on this is that, or different than RF4, is you have level restrictions on gear and gear types, but you don't have your skills. So the skills are neat in RF4, but it can be frustrating. Like one of the things I complain about in RF4 is that you have to level bottom rods to access spod and method rods, which would be great for telescopic fishing, but I'd have to level something I don't enjoy doing as much. Yeah, this is a strange lighting glitch for sure. I don't know what that's all. It's kind of neat though. All right, let me get my bottom rod out here. So when you're fishing from a kayak, if you get a big fish on, they will pull you around the lake and, oops, that's a bad cast. Let me actually back this up a little bit. And it's actually kind of nice because being on the kayak, it actually lets you use slightly underpowered gear because the kayak's going to help you keep some of the tension off. Is my kayak stuck? Let me just re-travel here because we are kind of glitched out. Wicked, do you know of a way to sort of shove the kayak off if you're in a situation like this? Where you can't get on shore and it's kind of lodged on there? I guess I could probably like do this. There we go. Okay, so we'll just travel back. Okay, R shoves off. Good to know. Appreciate that. All right, let's move this back over there. Still got the weird lighting glitch, but it adds to the spooky theme for the holiday event. That's what we'll go with. Okay, so R is okay. I completely forgot that there was a different that you can switch between them after you bring the line out. Appreciate that. Over here and get into position. We want to kind of be facing this way so when the sturgeon hits, it'll sort of drag us out to open water. There we go. All right. Hopefully we'll get a bite pretty quick since we only have one line out. Don't have to wait a little bit longer than usual. But it's fun once you get a big fish on and gets rocketed around. I used to love that moose lake. You get one of those big Atlantic salmon or lake trout, they'll just send you flying. And there are actually some challenges that get you some gear and bait coins and stuff for getting flipped over a bunch of times in a kayak. Nope, okay, missed it. Put up too soon there. Okay, Z is the anchor. I vaguely remember that. So yeah, if you're in a spot where you're just out to a spot where you want to lock the kayak in or boat in place and fight the fish, you kind of just were boating out to a spot to be able to reach it. You'll want to keep the anchor down. In a case like this, where you just want to be pulled around by the fish and have some of the tension relieved by using the kayak, you'll want to leave the anchor up. Or at least when you're fighting the fish, you want to leave the anchor up. If there's a current pulling you around, you can set the anchor. So for another quick bite here. Don't let me down, sturgeon. Oh, there we go. I see him playing thick. Wait till he takes. Looks like he just bit and left. Hmm. Pulled up too soon. At least they're biting fairly quick though, so you don't have to wait here too long to get one on to pull us around. Now, look, I don't remember if you miss a strike like that, do you need to recast because they took the bait, or can you leave it in there and it's okay? Yeah, actually, I'm going to go to recast because I'm kind of in the embankment here, but. There we go. And we're off to the races. Oh, this is a small sturgeon. Okay, so why can't I get him here? Okay, so sometimes you can leave it out there some sort. Okay, there we go. Now I pulled him in. So you can see this is another good way, like that sturgeon right there, we would have been fighting for a long time if we were fighting him from the shoreline. With the kayak, you're getting a lot, the fish is pulling you towards it. So there's way less pressure on your line. With that, we leveled up to level 41. Ooh, okay, we got some new, so these are the items that become available in the shop when you level up. So it's good to kind of see what you're getting. Looks like we've got a, some sort of 7'10" cat box, or I think that's a bottom rod there. Then we got a River Tech Zeus. Then we get some bait coins and some money. Not bad, not bad. Okay, so yeah, that's where you have to get them tired to actually land them in the kayak. That makes sense. All right, let's get back into position, catch another one. They don't pull you quite as much as those salmon and lake trout do at Moose Lake. Those suckers, they'll send you flying at like 100 miles per hour. It's a lot of fun. Back in the water. It's just another one. Will the sturgeon still hit if you're in a spot like that where it's only like 3 foot deep? It's also shallow. Yeah, I remember every now and then on Moose Lake, you'll see someone in the kayak just get washed into the mountains off the map. It's hilarious. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Out here, as you can see, doing our first Fishing Planet stream tonight. And I did create a club. Let me pull this in, just go ahead and show you. Once you hit level 5, you can send a request to join the club. Just called Cred Club here. So once you hit 5, you can search for that in the club list and request an invitation there. And Canadians, been doing a little fishing. You still out there at Lone Star, Canadian? Slapping those crappie around? Come on, sturgeon. Take my line. Slowly getting there. I'm trying to remember what was. I know if you have the gear for it, the drum, I think, were pretty decent at Lone Star. If you can start with, there is the smallmouth bass you can catch out along the main pond, which I remember them being fairly decent. We've kind of like drifted way away from our spot here. Let me reposition. Right here and drop the anchor to quit moving. Back up. All right, try this again. Oh yeah, I've got a graphical glitch right now. It's the lighting when I changed time for some reason got the graphics all weird. I'm gonna reset that in a minute. Don't really know what happened. Never seen it before. Sturgeon. Is the downside. So when you get boats, you can actually get boats that have rod holders, which is nice. Obviously, kayak, you're not going to have any of that fanciness. This current's just dragging me along right now. All right, kayak. Had enough of your shenanigans. Okay, one more time here. So far, we got just the first sturgeon, which was a pretty big one. But realistically, because I do have rods that can handle them, it'd be better for me to be fishing with the rod stand, so we're going to have multiple rods out. Go. He nibbled on it, but wasn't interested. Nothing. Not going to come back, sturgeon? Fine. There we go. I'm just nibbling too. Apparently. So that's another interesting about this weird graphical glitch I've got is it's like having the polarized glasses on super mode. You can really see the fish striking. Recast that. And hopefully we get a sturgeon very quickly, but I want to relog to try to reset this weird graphical glitch I'm getting that's got it's all dark and gloomy. I think I saw some movement on the line there. Maybe not. Yeah, he's out there at the. If you add him as a friend on there, you can probably find him out there at Lone Star Lake. Okay, I'm going to move to shore here. Yeah, I think like I guess the person you're sending a request to has to be online to get the request because I checked and I didn't see the one you sent last night. So if you want to resend that, I'll get that accepted here. All right, I'm going to see if I can fix this graphical glitch. What can I? This traveling to a different spot didn't fix it. I don't want to give up the I don't want to do the travel cost. Let's see. Let me go to an intermission screen for just a second. I'm going to restart the game to fix that graphical. There we go. Let's see if that did the trick. I believe so. It is a morning, so it's got a nice sunrise over it. Let's go get back to the spot. And for those who missed it earlier, I'll kind of show you like when you have a boat, you do have a fish finder that actually works, unlike RF4. You kind of start the engine to get it going here. Or you can mess up and get mad at the motor. There we go. And you can get a little reckless on, oh, there's a tombstone back that way? All right, I'll grab that later, appreciate that. You can get reckless and kind of like jump the land a little bit, do some crazy stuff. You get enough, if you have enough momentum, you can clear it like that. It's a little fun thing you can do if you're you need a little bit of a break from the fishing. Go and pull this boat in. Here we can see we've got some more players. We'll go and go back to a private room. We'll leave it. We can watch them do some fishing too. See what they bring in. But you can go and put the rod stand down, and let's travel to the nighttime here. Yeah, the one at the other one over there to the right. I already picked up, so I gotta wait for it to refresh. It's still not glowing yet. I've been getting that one every day, luckily. And so yeah, Mark, there are the Halloween events things. There's 3 of them on Lone Star. Make sure to interact with those. You'll get some good free lures and bait out of it. And you can do those once every 24 hours for each one. Well worth it. Not the rod I wanted to use. I'm already getting a bite on that one. Let's bring it in. There you go. Hey, that one was actually, I almost had him beached where we didn't have to fight him. 2 in the islands in front of me, 1 by the dam. Okay, I'll have to be sure later to go get all those. All right, here we go. Got another decent sized sturgeon on the line. Love it when they bite that quick. Uh-oh, got another one biting there. Can we successfully juggle these 2? Probably not. I'm going to let him do its thing. Northern pike, I can usually juggle pretty well. These sturgeon, I haven't managed to bring in a second one while juggling the 2 rods. Once I get some stronger gear, maybe a different situation. Well, he is a... That other sturgeon's really bringing that rod over on it. Dang. All right. So pulling this thing towards the with sturgeon, I find when you're fighting them, just jerking their head towards a different direction definitely helps to get you a few feet at a time. But being bottom feeders, they like to keep low, so don't get as much jumping action. So in here, you will get like bass and stuff like that. You'll see them flopping up on the top of the water, jumping all over the place when you fight them, which is fun. Oh, sturgeon, get in here. Almost got him in. Oh, come on. There we go. Ah, so close. So close. There we go. Ooh, 53 pounds on that one. Nice. Nice and hefty. All right, let's get these recast and try some spin fishing. Yeah, that's right. Oh, maybe we won't get a chance to do the spin fishing. These sturgeon are hungry right now. I'm okay with that. So, fun fact: this San Joaquin Delta is actually a place when I was a kid. I lived out in the Bay Area of California, and we went fishing out on here a lot. It was a really fun Delta way to fish on. Get up here, sturgeon. There we go. Nice quick fight on that one, a little under 50 pounds. That was a bad cast. His room is full. Yeah, Canadian, he's over there chilling with the full rooms. If you guys are friends, you can create a friends room on Lone Star Lake, and it'd be just you guys on there. Hopefully. All right, let's see if we can catch a striped bass out here before another sturgeon bites. I think I just had a raccoon on my roof. There's someone bringing in a sturgeon there. The sturgeon is a very, very popular spot, even in the even for high level players. All right. Closed track, you hold in control, and then you can freely move your mouse around to this little minimize button. There may be a hotkey for it. A club request here. Nope. Yeah, you can just go over that little minimize thing. No problem. I'm sure there's a hotkey for it too, but I don't know what it is. That's been a hard one for me to break. I keep instinctively hitting Q from all of our RF4 chat. Another one on here. There's someone getting dragged around by a phantom steelhead on their kayak. Dragging him up. Will he flip over? Let's find out. Nope, he paused in. Okay, so there you go. Tab is lets you open and close it with a hotkey. Appreciate that, Wicked. So, Mark, have you looked at the missions log in the game yet? And if you have any tips, I went over a bunch of stuff on the at the beginning of this stream, kind of like controls and interfaces of all the basics, as well as some direct comparisons on RF4 to sort of help with RF4 transition. So if you can check the VOD when it goes up after the stream if you want to take a look at that. But if you have any questions, definitely ask here. I or Wicked's a veteran Fishing Planet player on here that's been very helpful in the chat, so feel free to ask away on that. But missions are a good thing to focus on early on to help you get some nice lures and different line, barbless hooks, things of that sort. Not biting on the rotten bread. So have you played with the time forwarding yet? Because it could be that the time you're in is not very good. Okay, smallmouth bass, that's not worth keeping. If you go to the map, you can see there's like peak fishing times, and you can hit T to fast forward to a more active time if you need to. There is a cooldown on it, but it's not a terribly long cooldown. And if it's nighttime, there isn't a cooldown. The guy catching a sturgeon there. Level 4. Hey, one more level we can club up. Got a shiner. So shiners are going to be really good bait when you get to St. Croix. Northern pike love those. You got a long ways to go before you got to worry about that. I don't trust what's going on with these rods. I'm going to recast them a little bit. And let me check. Did you send me? Yeah, there got a friend request there. Got C3O. All right, there we go. You're both just about to level 5, it looks like. So we'll be able to get you guys in the club. Unfortunately, you can't set the club minimum level to 1. Otherwise, I would have done that. 5's the lowest you can do. Oh, they are going to add catching and using your own bait. That's pretty cool. I know that's a big thing in RF4. I'm really looking forward to the ocean map. I don't know. I guess they haven't really given a timetable yet on when to expect that to be released, but it looks really, really fun having multiple people on the boat, having a huge ocean map and all that. Hopefully that's the actual fishing on there is pretty fun. That's one thing. Like RF4 had its ocean map come out earlier this year, and I honestly like it's super valuable fishing, but I don't really enjoy it because like the fishing style is perking, where you just kind of drop the line down and then shake it a little bit and then reel a fish up. Yeah, I saw BZ Hub's recent video where he had another interview with the devs talking about some of the things on it. It looks really neat. And it's going to be a huge map. Like I had no idea they were making it like 15 by 15 kilometers. That's massive. Like the size of the Morrowind world map. And the hard part is going to be getting to level 80. I guess it's going to be 85. They're going to raise the cap for it. Hi guys, club invite request. All right, let me get you added there, Canadian. One request, accept. All right, now we are up to 2 people. Excellent. So yeah, I'll work on getting some gear templates together for, I guess since you guys are already level 5, I'll work on something for like Emerald Lake or something like that. And we can start doing some club streams where we're all out there together. And I guess when you're with other club members in the same room, there's some XP bonuses and stuff like that. There's also club seasonal league tournaments, which we can look into down the road. Yeah, and if you haven't seen already, Mark, if you hit when you bring the fish in, you can hit P and it shows you holding the fish. You can do that to like move the camera around and stuff like that to take a screenshot. Really fun when you get like a really big sturgeon or something. I can show you here with this. This is a small fish for it, so it's going to show me holding it up like this. But if you get a big sturgeon or catfish or something, you'll be kneeling with it across your leg. Pretty cool. Got a trophy bluegill. Congrats on that. We got a, that's right, Javen. It looks just like me. We've got a, looks like, that. Here we go. Get them bot accounts, putting stuff on here. Oh, and Mark, if you haven't figured out already, you can right click and do a targeted cast. So if you want trying to get to a specific spot, that's something that helps. Yeah, so you can't keep it because of licensing. So if you go and buy an advanced license from the map screen, that will let you keep all the stuff. But with the free or basic license, there's certain restrictions of what you can keep in the net. So definitely, after, as soon as this stream ends, which I'm going to go about probably another 10 minutes or so here, I'll put the VOD up of this stream. It'll be about a week before it goes up on YouTube, but you can watch it on Twitch on my backlog of VODs. About usually it's got a little bit of a processing time, but in about an hour or so, you should be able to check out that first like 20 minutes or so of this stream where I was going over a lot of stuff. I'll trim out the first few minutes where Canadian was helping me get the audio balancing. Ooh, okay, we got a big one on now. Looks like might be a striper. Yeah, striped bass. So striped bass, like they're not as good as sturgeon, but when I have this much room left on the keep net, I'll go ahead and keep them because they're still, it's like $1,000. It's worth keeping. If I get to where I know the sturgeon are going to be, hey, we got a challenge complete. Got some bait coin. Right. Sturgeon I know are going to be around 50 pounds. So once I get to close to where there's only 50 pounds left in the keep net, I'll start getting rid of some bass and leave room for those. I'm going to recast these because they're looking a little janky on me. Got a guy on his kayak out there with a phantom steelhead. Those are one of the holiday event fish. See someone else catching one of the phantoms over on the right hand side there. Yeah, I like that they do these events with all the different special fish. It keeps things interesting. I remember the St. Patrick's Day one, they had these like snakehead that, man, they put up a heck of a fight if you got them on the line. Yeah, that's a good point, which I forgot about that. Like you if your last fish is big and if there's any spare room in your keep net, then you can overload it with the last fish you catch. So that's something to keep in mind too. You don't necessarily have to free up space. And Mark, to sell your fish, you basically just travel to the next day, and that'll let you sell all the stuff in your keep net. Oh, he almost is gonna flip over. Come on, flip over. Nope, he didn't flip. Oh well. Trophy white crappie. Nice. So another feature I went over early on is the marker buoy. So you can see out there, I've got this buoy out there in the water. When you catch a fish that you want to remember the conditions you caught it on, you can bring your map up and add a marker, and that's going to show you like what all these different things, like where you caught it, obviously, the weather, the size and info of the fish, what you caught it on. So it's really good if you find like a really good spot that you want to go back to and revisit in the future. You can do that instead of having to like write it down in a notebook or a spreadsheet or something like that. Really neat feature. And you start with a limited number of marker buoys. You can increase that through missions and stuff like that. The max now is I think like 14 or 1700 amount of different marker buoys. So definitely a really handy feature. And out there at Lone Star, you can catch a few different trophy fish, but they don't have any that go up to unique size there. 1700th the max. Okay, yeah, and not only can you catch weeds, you can catch different types of weeds. You can catch mugwort and stuff. Oh, are they gonna flip this time? Ah, they didn't flip. No fun. Yeah, you can completely flip upside down in the kayaks, which is pretty neat. Nope, can't smoke it. But catching like weeds and seashells and stuff is very key to a lot of the special monster fish missions. What's up, Canadian? What are we OMGing now? Yeah, might be past the prime time tonight here. Haven't had anything ring on the sturgeon lines for a while. Yeah, you can also you can buy it or you can gather them, which I do have some. This one ready yet? Nope. I can try. That's the crankbait, 8 foot 3. I remember that. Let's see. I had the roach spoon here. Let's give it a try in here. You're not bothered with buying event bait? Yeah, you can catch them on your own a lot. Yeah, that's a fun thing out there sometimes, Mark. You'll get that dragonfly landing. It's like, hey, what's up? Now, let's see if I can remember how to do some of the different jig step actions with the spoon here. I have to increase my retrieval speed a bit. And there's twitching. You know, there's like stop and go, walk the dog, all that kind of stuff. I'm not even sure this is the right spot to be using this spoon, to be honest. Okay, so you got the other ones in Blue Crab Islands, the one from here. Alrighty. Good to know. Another trophy right crappie. Very nice. Let's see if I can pull something off with this spoon. Let's see, there's like... Yeah, I'm going to have to relearn all the different jig step patterns. Oh, got a snag for a second there. Oh, we had a fish on. No luck. Probably needs to be a daytime thing anyways. I don't know. To play around with that some more, figure out how to catch some of those Halloween fish. But I mean, you can catch them with the regular stuff too. And we've already caught a couple of phantom steelhead. Give it one more cast, see if we can pull something in before we wrap it up here. And on your, I'll go over one more time with the licenses. Those are real-time days. Your travel is in-game days. And if I log out right now, when I log back in, it's still going to be the same in-game day. So you don't have to worry about if you're hopping off for the night or something like that. When you hop back on, it'll still be right where you were in your travel time. But you may have to buy a new license if the license expires. Okay, so roast spoons is really good for Chinook salmon. Okay, might have to go after some of those next time. I know I've caught some of those, I think, over by the dam at one point back in the day. And I do have Cannock Creek unlocked, so you can definitely check that out as well. But I'm going to go ahead and pull my lines in and wrap things up here. Anyways, that's Fishing Planet. I will continue the tentative plan right now is I'm going to alternate each day between this and Russian Fishing 4. So tomorrow night I'll be back on RF4. Night after I'll be back on Fishing Planet. And if we get some more viewers interested in more Fishing Planet content, then I can look into doing alternate times where I run a stream for each during the day. I'll have to check times. I know a lot of the viewers for RF4, this 6 o'clock to 7:30 time frame Eastern is really good for them because a lot of them are in Europe and the West Coast, so it's a good time slot for them. I imagine more of our European viewers and everything are going to not be as interested in Fishing Planet, which means I may be able to be a little more flexible with the time for Fishing Planet streams. But if they are, we'll see what works best with everyone, and we'll definitely try to get some club streams together. Everyone can fish together on things. It's the middle of the night for you, Mark. I'll have to do some early streams for you guys over there too. So it'll be the afternoon for me, getting in the evening for you guys. But yeah, I think I'm looking forward to it. We'll do some club events. You can do some really neat host our own competitions and stuff like that. So we can have some fun on here for sure. But I appreciate everyone watching. I look forward to doing a lot more Fishing Planet streams with everyone, and seeing everyone over on RF4 tomorrow. Everyone have a good one. Have a good night and a good day for those of you on the other side of the world. And tight lines. Take it easy, folks.